What if some of the most common things men do every single day were quietly destroying their sexual health? Not in a dramatic way, not overnight, but slowly, silently weakening performance, killing confidence, and even leading to irreversible damage. Most guys have no idea this is happening. They think everything's fine until one day it's not. The truth is, the male body is incredibly sensitive to certain overlooked habits. And if you're not careful, these small mistakes can stack up fast. We're not just talking about performance in the bedroom. We're talking about real health risks that can affect your confidence, your relationships, and your long-term well-being. In this video, we're uncovering 6 critical mistakes that millions of men make, often without even realizing it. From shocking medical truths to lifestyle habits you'd never expect, each tip will reveal something new and surprising about how to truly protect your sexual health. And trust me, by the time we reach the final tip, you'll understand why most men are getting this completely wrong. Let's dive in. The organs that die without use, you've probably heard the phrase, use it or lose it. But did you know it applies to your manhood? This isn't a joke, it's real biology. Like any muscle or organ in your body, the penis needs regular blood flow and stimulation to stay functional. Without it, tissues weaken, oxygen levels drop, and long-term performance problems begin to show up. And here's the kicker, we're not just talking about sex. Even men who don't have an active sex life or avoid intimacy for other reasons can develop something called penile disuse atrophy. It means exactly what it sounds like. When you don't use it, you start to lose it. It's one of the most overlooked causes of erectile dysfunction, especially in older men or those recovering from illness. But here's the truth. It can start happening way earlier than most people think. So what's the solution? Maintaining regular, healthy stimulation, whether through intimacy, natural arousal, or even non-invasive methods like vacuum therapy or pelvic floor exercises, helps keep the blood flowing and the tissues active. It's not about obsession. It's about maintenance. Because when you stop using something that was designed for function, the body starts shutting it down. And unfortunately, that's just the beginning. In the next section, we'll look at something even more surprising, a basic hygiene mistake that's quietly fueling a rise in one of the most dangerous and preventable male health risks today. The most avoidable cause of penile cancer. Here's something that might surprise you. Penile cancer, yes, it's real, is rising in some countries. And in most cases, it's not genetics, it's not age, it's hygiene. In fact, one of the biggest risk factors for developing penile cancer is poor genital hygiene. And while it might sound like something that only happens in extreme cases, you'd be shocked at how many men unintentionally neglect this area. We're not talking about laziness. We're talking about simple things, like not washing thoroughly after sex, using harsh soaps that irritate the skin, or skipping daily cleaning altogether. Over time, this allows bacteria, sweat, and dead skin cells to accumulate, especially under the foreskin in uncircumcised men. This buildup, called smegma, isn't just uncomfortable or smelly. It's a breeding ground for infection, inflammation, and eventually, much more serious conditions. One study found that in regions with limited hygiene education, penile cancer rates were shockingly high, especially among men over 40. So, what's the fix? It's simple, but powerful. Wash daily with a mild, unscented soap. Glycerin-based is ideal. Dry thoroughly, especially in the folds of skin. Always clean up after sex, even if you feel fine, because vaginal pH and bacteria can disrupt your own balance. It sounds basic, but this one habit could literally save your life. And while we're on the topic of things most men ignore, the next habit is even more hidden and far more damaging. Most guys don't even know it's happening until it's too late.
The hidden damage of half erections. Most men don't think twice about this next one. But having sex while only partially erect could be doing real damage. Damage that doesn't show up until it's too late. Here's why. When the penis is in a semi-erect state, not fully flaccid but not fully hard, it becomes far more vulnerable. The tissue isn't fully supported, which makes it easier to bend or twist in unnatural ways during intercourse. This leads to what doctors call microtrauma, tiny repeated injuries inside the penile tissue that you might not even notice. But over time, your body reacts by forming scar tissue, also known as fibrosis. The result? Pain, stiffness, and in many cases, a visible curvature of the penis. This condition is called Peyronie's disease, and once it sets in, it's extremely difficult to reverse without medical treatment or even surgery. And here's the scary part. Many men develop it slowly, without even realizing it's happening. They ignore the occasional discomfort. They assume a little bend is normal, until one day, it's not. So, what's the best way to avoid this? Always make sure you're fully aroused before intercourse. Don't force it if your erection isn't complete. And if you notice repeated discomfort or visible curvature, talk to a doctor early. The earlier it's caught, the better the outcome. It's one of those issues you can't feel going wrong until it already has. But if you think that's eye-opening, wait until you hear how your screen time may be silently rewiring your brain and sabotaging your real-life performance. What porn isn't telling you. Let's be honest, most guys have watched porn at some point, and for many it seems harmless, even normal. But what if that daily habit was slowly rewiring your brain and killing your ability to perform when it actually matters? Here's what most people don't know. Excessive pornography use can lead to something called sexual desensitization. That means your brain starts depending on fast, artificial stimulation, constant novelty, unrealistic scenarios, instant gratification. And over time, the real thing just doesn't compare. You start to need more, to feel less. What used to excite you now feels dull. And when it's time for real intimacy, the body doesn't respond the way it used to, or the way it should. This isn't just about preference. It's a neurological shift. Studies have linked chronic porn use to decreased dopamine sensitivity, lower libido, and even performance anxiety. Some men are physically healthy, yet struggling to stay aroused or climax with a real partner. Why? Because their brain has been trained to expect something that doesn't exist in reality. But here's the good news. The fix isn't about shame, it's about balance and awareness. Cutting back or taking breaks can help reset the brain. Reconnecting with real intimacy, physical and emotional, can rebuild your natural arousal pathways. And staying mindful of what you're consuming can stop dependency before it starts. This is one of those issues that many people silently struggle with, but no one talks about. And the sooner you recognize it, the easier it is to reverse. But screen habits aren't the only thing quietly sabotaging your performance. Next up, we're diving into the everyday lifestyle choices that most men completely underestimate, yet play a massive role in sexual health.
Your lifestyle is sabotaging you. Most men think of sexual health as something that's either working or not. But the truth is, your performance in the bedroom is deeply connected to everything else you do every single day. Think about it. Your brain, your blood flow, your hormones, your energy, they all depend on what you eat, how you sleep, how you move, and how you handle stress. And this isn't just theory. It's backed by real science. Research shows that things like poor diet, dehydration, chronic stress, lack of exercise, smoking, and alcohol directly impact sexual function, especially blood flow, which is absolutely essential for arousal and performance. Let's break it down. Smoking? It narrows blood vessels, cutting off circulation where it matters most. Alcohol? It might temporarily boost confidence, but long-term, it damages your ability to perform. Lack of sleep? It tanks your testosterone, leaving you with low energy and even lower libido. Processed foods and sugar, they trigger inflammation and weight gain, both of which throw your hormones out of balance. And perhaps most underestimated of all, stress. Chronic stress floods your body with cortisol, a hormone that literally blocks testosterone production over time. In other words, when your life is out of balance, your sex life will follow. But here's the good news. This is the one area you can control more than you think. Drink more water. Eat real food. Move your body, even if it's just a daily walk. Cut back on alcohol. Manage stress with breathing, rest, or time away from screens. It sounds simple, but most men don't make the connection until something starts to go wrong. And yet, despite all this advice, there's one so-called natural shortcut that's been spreading fast. A 7-second performance trick that people claim is changing their sex lives without meds and without major lifestyle shifts. What is it, and is it real? Let's explore that next. The bedtime habit that could be hurting you. Here's something you've probably never thought about. What you wear to bed could be harming your sexual health. Sounds strange, right? But sleeping with tight underwear or any restrictive clothing around your groin area can cause more problems than most men ever realize. Here's why. During the night, your body naturally goes through nocturnal erections, even if you're not aware of them. It's completely normal and actually very healthy. These nighttime erections help maintain blood flow and oxygenation in the penile tissue while you sleep. But when the area is compressed by tight underwear, snug pajama pants, or even a badly positioned waistband, those erections can be blocked, restricted, or even injured. And when that pressure happens night after night, it leads to microtrauma in the penile tissue. And over time, that trauma turns into fibrosis, which is scar tissue. If that scar tissue builds up, it can cause curvature, the same kind associated with Peyronie's disease. So, what's the fix? It's simple. Sleep without underwear or switch to loose-fitting boxers or soft shorts. Let the area breathe. Avoid pressure, heat, or friction. Give your body the space it needs to maintain its natural nighttime healing process. It's one of the easiest changes you can make, yet most guys never even think about it. No pills, no devices, just a small change with a big long-term benefit. And when you combine this with everything else we've talked about today, you're not just avoiding problems, you're building a foundation for confidence, longevity, and control over your sexual health. Now, let's bring it all together. One small change could make all the difference, so let's recap what we've uncovered, because each of these tips isn't just advice. They're warnings most men never hear until it's too late. We talked about the risk of penile disuse and why use it or lose it is more than just a saying. How poor hygiene, something so basic, can quietly lead to penile cancer. The hidden dangers of semi-erect sex and how it can cause lasting internal damage. The real impact of porn overuse on your brain and body and how it's messing with real-world intimacy. The massive role your lifestyle habits play in everything from blood flow to hormone balance. That viral 7-second trick everyone's talking about and why you should stay curious but cautious. And finally, the one nighttime habit that might be damaging your health without you even knowing it. Here's the thing, you don't need to change your entire life overnight. But if even one of these tips made you pause, or hit a little too close to home, maybe that's a sign that it's time to start paying attention. Because ignoring the early signs is easy, but fixing the damage later, that's a lot harder. So take care of your body, protect your confidence, and most of all, don't wait until something goes wrong to start doing things right. If this video opened your eyes, even just a little, like it. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And drop a comment below, even anonymously, about which tips surprised you the most. Thanks for watching. And remember, small changes today can lead to massive results tomorrow.